going. Good morning, everyone, to Marketing Matters. This is Landmark Title's weekly marketing webinar where we bring you all things real estate marketing. So anything and everything that you could potentially utilize to market your real estate business, we are going to cover on Marketing Matters. We bring in industry professionals, people from our Landmark staff, our business development managers, as well as top producing agents to give you this information, to make it real, make it relevant, and then help you implement it into your own real estate business. So I am joined with Kurt this morning, and he is with Inspections Over Coffee. And Kurt has a lot of feathers in his cap besides just being an awesome inspector. And running out to Scottsdale and dropping things off and then running back here to hop on our webinars. But he is also a pro when it comes to blogging, to Google, and that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We've done Google My Business before. So for those of you that are repeat attendees on here, hope you have had a chance to really get your Google My Business account set up. But guess what, guys? There's so much more than just the basics when it comes to your Google My Business account. And that is exactly what we're going to dive into today. Kurt, take it away.
Thank you for the introduction. Hello to everybody out there. So the first thing I'll cover is who I am, because why should you listen to some dumb home inspector about realtor marketing and Google My Business? But like she had said, I actually not only own the local Phoenix Inspections Over Coffee, but I actually own the parent company, which is Inspections Over Coffee Franchising. And I basically teach inspectors how to set up successful businesses all across the country. We're small and we're growing, but I do a lot of business development for brand new business owners. And I've worked with hundreds and thousands of realtors across the country. So I see all this stuff and I have a little proof in the pudding. So basically, I owned a inspection company in the Denver area, which last calendar year did about $1.6 million. I sold my half of it about a year and a half ago, but that's the business that I grew. And that is now one of our franchises. So your average home inspector does $50,000, $60,000 a year. That business does $150,000 a month. So let me share. And basically, I moved to Phoenix, and then I started my own franchise here last January 1st. So I will show you, let's see, let me share my screen here. How much time you want me to take here, Sarah?
Our webinars are about 30 minutes. Okay. But if you've got amazing content and you feel like it is relevant and you want to keep sharing, then we kind of just do.
I'll show a lot and we'll let the questions dictate how long we go. Okay, so as a realtor, the first thing you want is when you meet someone that if they were to search your name, is for this on the right-hand side to come up here. Oops, sorry about that. And this is basically your Google My Business profile. So you could do this on Bing and Yahoo and other ones, but obviously Google is where most search happens. So if someone were just to search, like I just did, Inspections Over Coffee, this profile here is going to come up. So as a bare minimum, in my opinion, this gives you some credibility that you're a real company, you've got some reviews. And as a realtor, if somebody Googles you after you met them at the grocery store and they're like, well, that lady or that guy was nice and maybe I'll consider them as a realtor, at a bare minimum, you'd like to have some credibility online. Now, what you'd really like to, now my address is Gilbert, even though that we cover the entire Valley. And I'm going to get to more into that in a bit here. So I went to, this is the goal eventually, is that I went to a private thing so that it doesn't have to see my IP address, doesn't know who I am. And I just put Gilbert Home Inspection. Now I'm currently growing this to hopefully rank like this for Phoenix Home Inspection, but I am the number one in this, what's called the Map Pack. My company's the number one when you put Gilbert Home Inspection. And what's great about this is I was teaching a class yesterday and someone called and booked us. And obviously most of our referrals come from realtors who say, hey, Kurt's team is awesome. But this person literally called us yesterday and said, hey, it's a Gilbert Home Inspection. We found you online. And being in the top 3 is absolutely key, because very rarely is someone going to click more businesses and start going down all of these, different things. So as a realtor, listen, in the home inspection business, it's very, say, just did it again, and someone popped ahead of me, but that's because they're paying for an ad. So I'm the first organic one, which is, of course, just fantastic, right? So how do you get to that, right? You can see here that my profile is pretty well filled out, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And I'm going to go kind of deep. I'm going to skip over the setting up of it. I understand you guys had a class a little while back. I'm going to assume you're verified, you got your PIN number, kind of all the basics are there, and then I'll give you some pointers here. So when you go to the profile, you want this to be as filled out as possible. And what a couple of those things mean is when you click on info here, couple of pointers. I've taken many master classes on this, so this isn't necessarily my opinion, but clearly it's working because I'm #1 in Gilbert. You want to have a service area. As a realtor, you're going to cover a service area. You do want to have your address there, and I'll explain why in a minute. And you might as well just put that you're open 24 hours. There's really no downside to it. You don't have to answer your phone for 24 hours a day. But my guess is that if you were sitting at home watching American Idol and the phone rang at 7:30 at night and someone's like, hey, will you list my house for me? Like, that's a phone call you're not going to mind, right? So if they see 6 realtors and some of them say 8 to 5, 8 to 5, 8 to 5, and yours says open 24 hours, there's that small chance that you will get the phone call over somebody else. You've got your phone number here. You could turn on call history, where Google tracks the phone calls you get. You got your actual website here. Now, my web page, not my whole home page for all of our national locations. I have the actual Phoenix location of our web page because I want Google to read everything that we SEO'd up on the web page that's for the local area, not just home inspections. You want to put all of the services that you might offer, because again, you're telling Google who you are and what you can do, and you can put as many as you want in there. Let's see what else we could do. You want to completely fill out this about you section. And while you don't want to stuff keywords, you do want to kind of throw in some keywords if you can. All right. And then, so that's going to be all the info. Let's see, store codes or anything else there. Okay, let's see. Now let's go to photos. This is going to be super important. I'm going to need to put a video on the screen here for a second. Bear with me one sec. Did it work? Send it.
I don't see anything yet.
No, not yet. It's fine. Okay, so you see all these photos. All of these photos, you've got overview, by owner, by customer, 360 degree. You want to get as many photos and videos in here as you can. So what I did is we did a little photo shoot at my house. Before you do that, you don't want to just upload image 1381. I'm going to show you how to get around that here in a second. And if you want to take a note here, learn how to turn on geo-tracking on your phone. And here's why, is you should fill this out as much as possible. If you don't have a 360 degree camera, let me know. I have one. If we're doing business together, I'll come by your house, take a couple 360 degree photos, and just give them to you if we're working together. But if you can, okay, let's go to team here. So what we've done is we take a photo of the front of the house, and then we go on Instagram. We congratulate the realtor for getting it under contract. But then we come here and we have the geo-tracking on, and we will put Phoenix home inspection, Avondale home inspection, Glendale home inspection. And hopefully Google's AI is picking up the front of the house and the address. And then I'm going to show you here in a second. Let me go down to downloads, this. Okay, so this is on my phone, so I'll pause it or answer any questions if I have to. But this is how you change the name of a photograph that you take. Now, I have an iPhone, so I know this app works on iPhones. If you have an Android, I'm sorry, I don't know how to help you. So you first start by opening up the photo on your phone. You have an app called Metapho. It's METAPHO. You do the thing where you're going to like send the photo somewhere. You go to Metapho, which I'll pause. It's right here. Okay. Opens it up in that app. And I've already done it. But you can see here that we have all of the geo-tracking location, where the phone was taken, what if you took it like in raw format or whatever, that would all be there. And at the top, if you just click on your phone right here, it'll normally say something like image 1789. And basically when you click on that top thing, you put save as, and then you can change the name of it. So you could put Phoenix Real Estate, Scottsdale Real Estate. And of course, if you could go in front of something that Google's already going to recognize as a landmark, you're going to get credit. So here's what happens: is it starts with that small area around your address for your business listing. And as you can continue to add information to tell Google, hey, I expand further out than that, you're going to get a little more credibility from Google. And again, photos with your clients work great. Any selfie that you take, you can put in the team section and it'll never get flagged for anything. But that you never want to upload photos that are not basically what my design team would call zhuzhed up for SEO. So don't just take photos of your house and upload them. Make sure you put photos of your house and name them as accurately as possible, but include, Phoenix Realtor, Phoenix Real Estate, Phoenix Real Estate Agent, which actually reminds me of something. As you pick your address, and again, I don't know what the rules are in real estate, so if this is breaking a rule, just ignore it. But basically, you don't want to use an office, like a HomeSmart office with 2,000 agents, a Remax with 200 agents, because you're up against 200 other agents for that exact same address. You're very unlikely to show up and compete with that exact same address. I actually get a lot of my social media training from people that train attorneys, because I know that it's highly competitive and they have the same kind of issues that we have. And you can imagine attorneys, they might be in a high-rise building downtown, but there's 8 other attorneys in that area, right? So you have to be careful with what address you choose to use for that. So that's kind of the big photo. The big thing about photos is having it fully filled out with 360 degrees, videos, interior, exterior, and then you continue to add photos that are both are able to tell Google where it was taken, and then properly labeled to tell Google like what it actually is that'll help your SEO. So let me let's see here. Okay, let me think what direction I want to go in next. So you should make a post, and I'm probably going to look back here because I haven't done one in a while. Once a week, your post will automatically go away once a week. So you want to keep a post going. It could be a blog thing you did. It could be 2 paragraphs you write up on a house you showed a client. It could be absolutely anything, but keeping that information in there makes Google happy. If you want to sort of have a loophole for that once a week thing, you can create an event right here. You have offers, what's new, and events. And if you make the event more than a week out, you'll actually get away with making you'll get away with the event staying on there longer than that week. But then what you want to do, and I haven't done this because I was actually paying someone to do this before, is you take this link that is the link to this, hold on here, right? And we hit no thanks. And if we were go to make a new post, what's new, you want to take that old post, what's going on here? Is this it? Yeah, here we go. And test. Then you go ahead and put the link to the previous one down there. Now, I don't know exactly why that worked, but that's what they said that like actual ad agencies do. And when you do make a post, what's new, always give your photo. Again, try to use a photo that you've changed the name to so that it reflects the SEO. Always add a button like learn more, call now, order online with your website, whatever the case may be. And then you publish it. So again, once a week, you don't have to do 5 a day. That's overkill. That's too much. Let's see here. Reviews. Okay, let's talk about reviews. If you're a brand new realtor or you're a realtor that hasn't got a review yet, you don't only have to get reviews from clients, right? You don't want anyone lying, or you don't want to like stuff these with like fake reviews. But if you're a brand new realtor, you can have a relative that's known you for a long time, or a coworker that you worked with for a long time, or your mentor at work write a review that says, I've worked with Sarah Touchstone for 5 years and she's great and super trustworthy. Nobody lied. It's totally fine. They gave you as a person a 5-star review, and that's fine. Now, you also If you do have clients and you're going to compel them to give you a good review, it's really great if you could tell them to put the location in. Sarah helped my client get their Phoenix title, Phoenix home, Phoenix real estate title taken care of, right? If you could have them organically put in like a little keyword, that helps a lot. Okay, now let's say you get 20 reviews. You need to reply to all of them. And I'll tell you, it's even more important to reply to negative reviews than it is to positive reviews. But as you can see here, I kind of will match the length they give you. Sometimes they just give you a review and they don't give you anything. Other people, I try to be as real as I can be. There's one guy here. Where did it go? This guy.
Kurt, we did have a quick question back to the photos. So the question was, so when you are out showing, you should take a photo.
Yeah, I would tell you any photo is a good photo.
Yeah.
No bad photos. If they're there with a client and you're like, hey, let's take a photo. Like what you could do too is, you guys might show several houses, and by the time they get under contract and they show up with us in the inspection, half the time they barely remember which house they actually bought. So it's not a bad idea to take pictures, not even for this, but go, hey, let's take photos of all the houses and then we can kind of grade them. And 2 weeks from now, we'll remember which one was which and which one we get the contract accepted on. And then you get to repurpose those photos for your social media content.
Yes. Yeah. There's social media is great for that. Just everything that you're doing, take a photo of it. And Kurt, as we were looking through a lot of your photos, you were mentioning, you share these on social media. Guys, this is just another avenue to continue to repurpose the things that you're already doing on social media, putting them into your Google My Business, right?
Well, it's very easy too. So what I do is in the morning, I look at all the jobs we have and both sides of the realtors. And I basically go, if they're on Instagram, I'll follow them. And then that way, when we do that photo in front of the house with the sandwich board, I say, hey, congrats to Sarah and Mary for getting this house under contract, inspection happening now. And then a lot of times they'll take that, they'll share it. So if you as the realtor, you go, hey, thanks to Sam for letting us, view the house in Chandler on the golf course. It was gorgeous, a little photo. And again, it just makes everybody happy,
Yes.
So I think that answers that question.
Yes. More social media always makes me happy.
Back to reviews, you have to reply to negative reviews because you actually get a higher grade for replying to negative reviews than you do to positive reviews. So hopefully you never get a negative review. If you do, you just go, you want to remember, you're not replying to that negative review to make the negative review happy. You're replying to the negative review to make all the other hundreds of people that are going to read that review think that you're a normal person who can handle, a difficult client. Because we all understand as we read reviews that there's just crazy people in the world, right? And the more people you work with, the more likely you are to run into a crazy person. So how you reply to it is say, hey, I'm sorry that you felt that way. You want to sort of have some empathy. And then try to get them offline. Write your little paragraph. I'm sorry you're feeling that way. I'm not sure that's exactly what happened. I'll have to check the records. But if you could call me personally or email me and try to get that conversation offline, that's the best way to reply to a negative review. Okay, that's reviews. Let's see, messages, products, services. Okay, I want to save something for last here, but this is something you might not know. So let me ask you this: do we have anybody on the thing that knows that they have a Google My Business, and maybe we could have a look at it and I could give you some critiques and some feedback on areas to work on it to improve it. Anybody want to volunteer that?
Yep. Now we're exposing. Oh, Valerie Moore says that she raised her hand. Okay, so you want me to get Valerie over into the panelists?
No, I got it.
Or just Google her.
Can you see it?
Yes.
This is what we want. Valerie Moore, realtor. I met her at the gas station, grocery store. She told me she's a realtor. I'm thinking about selling my house. I'm looking her up. Okay. So she is in Prescott. So that's good. As far as at first I saw the 928 phone number. If you don't have a local phone number, I wouldn't be using your Kansas City cell phone number as like your local business, because again, it's one little check mark that somebody's going to go, wait, are they actually here? Are they not here? So she has one review. Let's read it. She replied to it. That's fantastic. First rate working with her. The only thing I would have said there was, I mean, she gave you some like actual attributes, which is great. I would just, if she could have put, you know, a home purchase in Prescott, Sedona, wherever it was, that's the only thing I would have added to that. Okay, this is something I never ever see get done, right? And so basically, you see this first to ask a question. It's very rare, even though I deal with thousands of realtors and hundreds of buyers every month. Nobody goes on my Google My Business and asks a question. But here's what you can do. So there are no questions there, right? And she's like, well, nobody's asked me anything, so I'm not able to answer it. So what you can actually do is you can, as the owner, ask yourself a question. So if you look here, I have 10 questions. They are all questions that I've asked myself. So you could do owner questions. So I put very simple stuff. And again, it's things that I thought people might search. Does your company offer sewer scopes? Yes. Do we offer termite inspections? Yes. Pool inspections? Yes. Mold testing? Yes. How quickly can you schedule? How much experience do you have? What's included? And again, this is as much for Google as it is for, I mean, if you're sitting there going, listen, man, no one's ever going to look me up and read those questions. I 100% agree, but Google's algorithms and computers are reading these things. So if you know, that makes it worth it just to show Google that you have a fully filled out thing. So again, military, so whatever might be attributable and makes sense that clients might ask you, you can go ahead and add that stuff in there. Otherwise, pretty good. Oops, let's see here. She doesn't have any posts, so any posts would show up here. Let's see here. Send your phone. I think that's about it. Let me see if we got how many photos.
Yeah, Beth, the question tips are awesome. I mean, that's one of those, I think we're actually familiar with it because I'm thinking about, like, you know, Amazon. You know, Amazon has those questions on there. And, you know, how often when we're trying to pick out a product, are we looking through these questions and we're looking through these reviews? Real estate is the same thing. You were the product.
Yeah. And anything that showcases you more, looks like, I'm trying to see photos here. So there's 2 photos by owner. Yeah, I would definitely start peppering in more photos. I mean, we can all be shy, but look, it doesn't even have to be. I mean, you have one here, take ones of your clients. You know, I mean, look, it costs nothing. We don't have to do film. So, but I am seeing here, we got Valerie Moore. This is where I'm gonna go to next. You see
Valerie,
Moore?
Valerie had a question with the question and answers.
Oh,
and I think it shows right up right there in the Google search, right?
What's that?
On the side, where to find, where to add in your question. And
so hold on here. Okay. If I were to go to your thing, this says be the first to ask a question, because I don't own your profile. If you were to come here, you could put ask a question and it'll say, here you go, ask a question, get advice from the owner. There's a choice that says, you know, make an owner question, whatever. You know, I don't know the exact phraseology of it.
Yep, right there, easy.
Thank you, Beth. Yeah, now, okay, here's another thing. Clearly, Valerie's been a realtor for a little bit of time. Valerie Moore, West USA of Prescott, Facebook, ValerieMooreRealtor.com. I'm looking at all of these other organic places, LinkedIn, this is great. Now, here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Keller Williams and I'm seeing West USA. So that's going to cause a little bit of confusion if you have old information out there. PGPCN Realtors. So this is all great. So what these are called business citations. Now, business citations, the acronym to remember is NAP, N-A-P, name, address, phone number, those 3 things. So if you moved, if you got married, if you got divorced, if you had an old cell phone number and you got a new cell phone number, if you have all of these citations out there where the information is mismatched, you'll never rank. Even if it's a misspelling. So if it's sometimes Valerie Moore, and then sometimes it's Valerie Moore-Hodges, and sometimes it's Valerie Hodges, you're unlikely to rank with those kinds of things. If you had an old phone number and you and your significant other bought a new house and some of the addresses are are different than this one, again, you will struggle to rank. So how do you figure that out? You can come to this place called whitespark.ca and you get an account. I think the account for business citations costs like $40 a month or something like that. Why is it not letting me log in? Hold on here. Oh, it's just slow because I'm doing the I'm doing the screen here. Okay. So launch local citation finder. Now I've spent a lot of time on this over the last 6 months. I have more than one business. So basically I started this, if you looked at this like last July, I had like 14 citations. Okay. You can go to my citations and then you can see where this software picks up your citations as being accurate. Okay. But then this is kind of cool. You can click on opportunities and it'll tell you where you are not listed. Now, some of these, it's very easy to get listed and others it's not. Sometimes you have to pay. Sometimes it's a small fee. Sometimes it's an ongoing monthly fee and you'll have to make a business decision around what you want to pay for. I always tell my franchisees, don't join the Better Business Bureau and don't join the Chamber of Commerce. They're just big time wasters. You feel like you're doing work, but you're not actually out meeting new realtors and finding new referral sources. That advice is not correct for this. If you are part of the Chamber of Commerce or you can afford to join it, that's a very high rank. You can see that all of these websites have rankings from Google My Business. And the more of a content thought leader that the web page is, the more juice you get, so to speak. And there's other ways around this. So I can't do it on this one. Let's see here. Before I go there. If you were to click on one of these, and some of these you just can't get into unless enough time has gone by. So some of these basically take information from other databases. And so by just getting into as many of these as you can, this blue book, you can't join. They have to find your information and add it to their database. Now here's what's cool. You go up against, let's just say, that somebody in your area is a big team. Like I know that Advantage Inspections and AJF Inspections have been around since the 90s. I've only been around for a year. They're kind of the two of the bigger companies in town. So I can actually see where they're listed and where compared to where I'm listed. So I could see 90 citations for inspections over coffee and only 54 for Advantage, who has like 2,500 reviews online. They have they've been around forever. And then what you can actually do here is you can actually, if for whatever reason, you just click on here and sometimes it'll say, list your business for free. And all you got to do. So what I did for like 3 months is just when I was drinking my coffee in the morning, I had my iPad up and I was just finding websites to list my business on. The other thing you can do, once you've kind of exhausted all those ones that you could do for free, is you come to somewhere like Fiverr and you can find someone like this. And even though he found 250 citations for my business or something like that, he was able to do like another 250 for me. And it cost me like $35. So that's like, trust me when I tell you, that's money well spent. That's why I'm ranked first in Gilbert, because you got my address and all that good stuff. Valerie said, how do I get rid of my old brokerage? This is where the bad news is, because I was not always Inspections Over Coffee. We rebranded like 2 years ago. So my Denver business has about 35 listings under the old company name, old phone numbers. So what you have to do is I ran a campaign for them under that old information, old phone numbers. And basically what you need to do is you need to go into all of those websites, claim that business listing, get the login for it, reset the password, whatever it is you got to do. And then you have to update the information. So it's manual labor. It's a pain in the butt. But to get all that cleaned up is really helpful. You may go down the path where there's like a Yext or whatever, and they say they'll do it. Most of it can all be done manually without paying all those inordinate fees. Okay, lastly, where is it? Website. There's a thing here, and you're not going to want to do this. There's a thing called website on your Google My Business profile, and no one will ever see this, okay? But you need to fill this out because Google sees it and Google reads it. So if you leave it blank and the next realtor does not, it'll take you a half hour of work. Your posts will be seen here. And again, this is not about being found by the public. They will find the main thing. This is about telling Google, hey, I'm playing your game. I'm playing all the games you want me to play. I'm putting all the information you want everywhere. And it's basically some free SEO. And again, no one will ever use this website. You'll never share it with anybody. But if you take a half hour on it one morning over coffee, you will have a more robust Google profile than the next realtor. So I think that's it. I mean, I feel like I've given everybody like a ton of work to do. The next time I chat, oh, let me cover this before I answer this question here. No, you only do one website to answer the question for Mary there. I will say that if you are trying to cover more than one area, like if what do you call it? Yeah, inspections over coffee. I love it. Valerie, if Valerie wanted to have a listing in both Phoenix and Prescott, she would literally need 2 Google My Business pages. And I would highly recommend separate logins, separate everything, but just know all the stuff that I just told you, it is a bunch of work. And so now if you're gonna have a second one, like you have to do the same thing for the second one. Like there's no cheating the system. Even if you had a Subway and then you had 4 Subways, it's the same story. Each one requires that same amount of effort. Now, all of this will not be as powerful as it can be without a website backing it up. So in other words, I have, if you go to my website here, I'm always building stuff out, news, and adding things to both local realtor home buyer information, but also, on the business side. And the reason is, I probably have about 50,000 words on the back end of my website now, but that is all picked up by Google for SEO purposes. And so the more of a content and thought leader that your website is that is attached to your Google page, you need all that. It's not enough to just have the Google page, because at that point, you're just kind of like a yellow page listing. You want to really have all of the content behind it in order to tell Google, yes, I'm out here doing this. And so again, it's real work. I did this class one time, and the person that spoke before me talked about like keychains, and the realtors had like 15 questions about these RFID keychains that the phone would read. And then I went through all this and I'm like, this is a lot of stuff that I know nobody's heard of, and nobody had any questions. Here's the reality. There's no shortcuts. There's no magic bullet. You got to do all the work but yesterday is the fruit of it when someone calls me, it calls my office, says, hey, we found you online. We'd like to book a job. And again, you guys make a lot more money selling a house than I do on one inspection. So if you can get somebody that says, hey, I saw your listing and I saw you had your house. You guys know that like just by putting the sign in front of the house, you might get a couple of neighbors that go, hey, we saw you sold so-and-so's house. We'd love to chat with you. Well, imagine if before they call you, they do a little research and they find this all built out really well. They're going to feel really confident in your ability to handle the sell or the buy of their house. So if you just have that sort of like that web page with your picture that just has like your Remax, Coldwell Banker, HomeSmart like listings on it, I would highly recommend, like Valerie here. I saw that she has her own website, and that's great. Let's talk about it. Sellers, buyers. So this is pretty good, but what I would probably do is I would spend more time telling stories about your clients and kind of how you've helped them. So this is better than I'm used to seeing. Normally I go right to the web page that is just, there's no picture and it says Valerie's been a realtor since 2010. But what I'd want to do here, if it were me being a realtor, is I would want to make that buyer or seller, I would want to speak to their story so that when they read what you've done for other people, they're like, oh, like I want that for me too, that's just, again, sorry, Valerie, take my advice for what it's worth. But okay, looks like we have a couple of questions. Getting a new website. Okay, Nicole asked the question, says, would you list all the areas in which you serve that have separate Google My Business pages for each of those areas, PRS and city? No, what you can do if you, and again, I haven't done this because it's time that I don't have. You could do what are called or have your web person do what are called city pages. So once you have your website up and running, and it'll be attached to like the main area. So if you're, what do you want to be Phoenix, you want to be West Side, East Side, whatever, you should, whoever is doing your website should know how to do SEO so that it's all done correctly from the very beginning, because you got to have your headings right. You got to label your photos. There's a million things on the back end that need to be done. So if you're not doing it and you're just buying the cheapest website you can, literally it's a 3-page brochure without SEO. No one's ever going to find you, and it's kind of wasted money. And so Valerie defended herself by saying she's in the process of getting a new website. So all I'm saying is feel free to share your personalities a little bit more on your websites, on your blogs, on your videos. I can tell you, this is not all published yet, but these are all training videos. And then videos on my YouTube page. I got about 80 videos that we're basically judging up for SEO before we go live with them. Some of them
That's so exciting to hear that you're sandbagging these videos to then drop them in.
You got to be careful with YouTube because the second they hit the gate, that's what matters. If you go back and fix them later, they're kind of lost. So that's great. I would just like let your personality show through. Like I've got one here that is me interviewing a realtor, and I'm gonna give you a couple more pointers here. So I have a short version and a long version. We sat in her backyard. I interviewed her about how she gets her clients ready and where she finds clients. And then what ends up happening is, if we go to my website here, let me do franchise, if I can remember where this is at. Oh, it's might be here.
I like the thumbnails on those too, Kurt. I like those ones.
On what? The blogs?
Oh, your videos.
Oh,
I'm over here like inspecting like your little microscopic thumbnails as you're scrolling through. I'm like, I like those.
Well, that's another thing. I just met with my design team yesterday, and we're literally doing professional versions of those.
It's a good idea. That's one of I teach a lot of video and social media classes. And when we cover YouTube, that's exactly what we talk about, having very attractive thumbnails for your videos.
So then what we've done is I actually had my design people interview me, and then we just took that stuff and we converted it. And again, we're going to talk more about blog and content on the next time I speak. But all of this is really important from an SEO standpoint. So the other thing you could do though is like, this was a training. Oh, not there. Hold on here. Back up. Yeah. So this was a kind of like this, but it's more specific. I did a 40-minute training on like how to prep your buyers, how to prep your sellers, home inspection 101. I just did a class yesterday on like known problems in buildings based on the year they were built. So these are 50-minute videos that we have software that we pay for that we will take all of my speaking, and then basically it will be content on the website underneath the video. So again, I don't know how many words I say in 50 minutes, probably a lot, but all of that ends up being content. So if you can speak and get your content, it's a whole lot easier than sitting there and trying to, be Anne Rice and an author.
Yes,
okay.
It is.
So I'll leave it at that. If anybody has questions or wants me to take a look at it, if we're working together, so Beth said maybe we could do a part 2 on this. So the part 2 is actually going to be how to easily, well, I don't know about easily, but how to take some shortcuts to creating content for your website and for your blog. There's a whole bunch of ways. Most people don't know what to write. They don't know how to write. They don't know how to get it this, how to get that. So I got some shortcuts. I will tell you it is real work, but if you think it's real work, just know that most other people are not doing this. So this is why I know that in the long run, I will win, because home inspectors aren't doing this. Most of them are busy doing inspections. And the ones that aren't are certainly not working on all these kinds of things behind the scenes. Or if they do, they hire a social media person who has no clue what they're doing, and none of this is getting built out. So,
well, Kurt, this was a great presentation. I mean, this is why partnerships in our industry are just the best. I mean, they really are. The things that you're doing for your business are exactly the things that we're always telling real estate agents to do for their business. And this is why I love having partners like you on, because you can tell them, look, not only do you need to do this for your business, but look how it is benefiting. Like, this is real time. These are real stats. This is a real business. And the things that you're doing in the digital world are impacting your business in such a positive way. And I think that that is just awesome.
So the only other thing, if I could just take 2 minutes, is if I'm working on all of this, if I could brag for a second, because probably most of the people on here don't know who I am. Like, just imagine how good we are at the inspection and taking care of you and your clients and all that kind of stuff. So, am I allowed to do a little commercial, a 2-minute commercial?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, let me go here. We are totally different. I have been doing this 15 years. We have the same approach to everything we do that we do, that I just, to this, just one little Google My Business thing I showed you. So our reports are completely progressive. They're online, they're interactive, they're color coding. We have snapshots, we have videos. All inspectors are licensed to do drone work. Every inspection we do, we include thermal scan of the entire exterior and the entire interior, where we find what do you call it? Where we find water leaks, electrical issues. Like, I make the joke when I'm talking to big groups of people that most of the inspection industry is stuck in the 90s. I mean, if you're getting a 50-page PDF from your inspector, it's behind the times. Just know that our photos, our videos. And again, if you have a client who's 80 and goes, I'm not going to deal with this on my computer because I'm 80, you could still pull the PDF and either print out the summary or the full report. There's a ton of information that could feel overwhelming, but what's great is in our version, if you click summary, it gets rid of all of that extra homeowner stuff so that you, the realtor, and your client can just focus on the defects, orange and red, that we found. And by doing blue, orange, and red, your clients don't go sideways emotionally over like small little things that aren't really small little things. And then when you're ready to write your BINSER, you come here and you can take our language and just copy and paste it if you'd like. I know that sometimes you get the advice not to copy and paste out of the report, but at least if you want to start there, it helps you out. And again, we do drone, you can see all the drones. So we get inaccessible roofs, the thermal imaging. We also provide recall reports on all the appliances, systems, mechanicals, water heaters, etc. And we also do a property history report. So anything, any permits, old contractor info, it's like a build fax for the house. I'm sorry, it's like a Carfax for the house. It's called build fax. Oh, and somebody asked for contact info. Let me give you this. I'm going to give you 2 things. If you want to see like my whole spiel on our company and why you should be working with us, it's in this intro video. If you click on the OVU thing, it'll take you, if you do it on your phone, it'll literally let you download our contact info right to your phone.
Kurt, I cannot tell you how much I'm geeking out on your systems right now.
Tell your friends.
Yes, no, this is awesome. I mean, you know, creating an effective business really is about getting all of your systems into place. It sounds like you guys have done an amazing job. So I can only imagine when you go out to the actual house and the site, how streamlined your systems and your processes are. Click on his info. We'll be sending it out as well. And guess what, guys? We're going to have Kurt back again. Yes, there will be 2 parts to this series. We did design it like that. So we're going to come back, I think next month, Kurt. We'll look at our calendars. I don't know if we picked a particular date yet, but we will have him back for our part 2, which is content creation.
So someone did say I speak too fast, so I apologize, but you'll get a recording of this, and I don't know, I'm just trying to get all the info out there. I apologize.
It's okay. When you get excited about things like this, it's so easy to just fly by. I'm going to go ahead and finish up. If anybody else has any questions, please let us know. I'm going to finish up with other classes that we have coming up toward the end of this month, and then we'll get you guys out of here. So we do have another social media basics class coming up in person on February 24th. This is going to be down at the Keller Williams, for the Keller Williams Goodyear office. This is going to be at Goodyear, Pebble Creek. If you would like to attend, let us know. This is a really great class. I've done a little precursor here on Marketing Matters. I did basically this class this past Monday. It was chock full of amazing questions and engagement and interaction. So if you are in the West Valley, I highly recommend coming to this. We're going to talk about content, more content. So this is why I geek out on these things, Kurt. And then tomorrow, we've got a CE solar class. Tara is coming back and she is teaching this class. And guys, this class is filling up. I mean, we're almost about ready to cut it off because we've got so many people in this class. There's still a few more spots left. If you would like the registration link, this is tomorrow from 10 to 1, and this is for disclosure credit. Then we've got 10 steps to avoiding the mortgage pitfalls. This one will also be in person. This is Wednesday, next Wednesday, in Scottsdale. Our buddies over at Nova Home Loans are going to be teaching and hosting this. So if you would like to attend, let us know. This is at 10 a.m. next week. Also next week, we have an Instagram Reels class going on. You guys have heard it. You've heard about Reels. You've heard about video marketing. We talked about videos today. You know how important this is for your real estate business. And just like a lot of the features we shared today, not a lot of realtors are taking advantage of this. This is free SEO for your business. So please come attend. This is an in-person class too. And what I like about doing social media and Reels type classes in person is that we can actually work through you getting going and creating this content right then and there. So we've got the class that goes from 3 to 4. Then we're doing a rooftop happy hour from 4 to 6. I'm going to be DJing as well as helping you with your Reels. Yes, we're going to give you content right then and there to start creating. So please attend. This one is going to be downtown. So reach out to Mary or myself for the particulars about coming to this class, but it's a really, really good class and it's a really good opportunity to get going with some more video marketing. And then Mary is also hosting a 2-part class, Wednesday, March 2nd and Thursday, March 3rd. This one is going to be in Phoenix off 16th Street. And this is going to be your path to authentic lead generation. This is going to be with Butch. Butch came and did a CE class for us last month, and he's fantastic. He really is another just instructor that is super engaging. So this would be a really great class for anybody who's looking to generate those leads in a non-pay for play in an authentic and genuine way. And then last but certainly not least, Melinda is hosting a gift party. So if you guys have seen, we all kind of know what gifts are, GIFs, whatever you call it. It's the little movements, it's the little, photo videos that you can slap on top of some of your social media stuff. It's video. It catches the eye. It's thumb-stopping content. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to throw a party. These are super fun. I've had some gifts made for me. And this is just a really good time with Exposed Media. So this will be Thursday, March 3rd from 1 to 3 p.m. So come out. This is going to be off Camelback at the AC Hotel, which is gorgeous. So even if you've never been there, just come up, check it out. We'll be making gifts and having a really fun time. And then just a quick reminder, we talked about the CE class this month, but we do offer CE classes every month on the 3rd Thursday. So if you need your credits, we all do, right? Every real estate agent needs to renew their license and needs those credits every 2 years. If you stick with Landmark Title, we're going to get you all of them. So we've got disclosure coming up this month, commissioner standards next month, and contract law in April. So hop on those. If you need more information, just let us know. And that's it for us today, guys. Thank you, of course, Kurt. That was really, really good information.
Yeah, thanks for having me out.
Really good. And then thank you, of course, to our business development team. You guys are amazing. Beth, Becky, Melinda, Mary, Patty, Michelle, and Michael. You guys make it all happen. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to your business development manager. If you're not already working with one of our amazing BDMs, let me know and I will hook you up and you will watch your business grow with such a partnership in your back pocket. And then, as always, thank you to Landmark Title for allowing us to bring you Marketing Matters and this great content every week. We have 7 offices across the valley to service you. So wherever you are doing a deal, we are there to close your title and escrow, including up in Prescott. So please think of us on the next contract. Reach out to Kurt, use him for your next inspection, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Thank you, Kurt.
Bye. Thanks.